Hello collective, welcome to the channel. It's Halloween. Ooh. I got my porch light off because I'm not sharing my candy. Besides that, I'm spending time with you. I hope the day has treated you kindly, whatever time of day it is for you now. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate your presence. Let us go ahead and tap right in to see what storyline Spirit would like to share with us this afternoon, or whatever time it is for you now. Guitar. Got some Palo Santo. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy. Storyline for the collective, please. Storyline for the collective. All right. In the central energy, we've got the Four of Swords. In the challenge position, we've got the Ace of Wands. In the subconscious, we've got the Moon. In the recent past, Nine of Swords. Intentions and expectations. Whoa, that came flying out of there. It came flying out of there, and it's the Star. But, you know, I don't know whether it came out in the upright or in the reverse. So I'm going to put it back on the deck, and we're going to ask Spirit to give us a different card or the same one, again, in a way that I can understand. Please. Intentions, expectations, please, Spirit. Queen of Pentacles. In the near future. Whoa, well, we've got the Eight of Cups in the reverse. There's a fear of change and a fear of loss, so they want to try one more time. They're not giving up. They don't know what to do. The lens is being looked through. Tower. They're in the middle of the tower. In the environment, we've got the Nine of Wands. Boundaries. Hopes and fears. Whoa. Temperance. And this Nine of Pentacles. So balance and a reward. You're holding your boundaries firm. These guys are in a tower. You're not letting them into your energy and the outgoing energy. See, you're an earth angel, and this 9 of Pentacles is yours. You've got your boundaries up. These guys are in a freaking tower. They try to take it from you. Your temperance energy, your identity, and your outgoing energy. We have you releasing baggage and moving into an opportunity, maybe getting a new job, starting a new venture, new beginning. With the Fool here, a new beginning. Somebody is in regret. Somebody failed and they're very disappointed. Somebody's very disappointed. You got this new beginning and you got a homecoming. You're going to be in your chariot. It's like you're going home. There's going to be a homecoming. Now, these guys are trying to hold on. They do not want to let go. They're using medicine as a connector or a bridge. They insist that this gives them legal access. They insist that this is a cause for a disqualification for this shift into this other dimensional reality. You're the temperance angel. You've got a reward coming your way for keeping your boundaries up, for remaining love, for remaining peaceful and loving. And these guys, they don't want to let go. They're not letting go. Now, Divine Masculine stated the other day that there will be a separation. No matter what these guys think, no matter how often they threaten to consume this appetizer, no matter how often they threaten to prostitute or do any of this other kind of crap that they're, right now they're looking at forgeries. They were talking about getting somebody's signature so that they could start forging documents. These masculines are so far from anything honorable or respectful. It's just so bad. And the fact that they're doing this to a temperance angel, all for their life. They want their life. It's like, dude, go freaking get a job, focus on something else, go add value to your soul. Learn some skills other than how to steal from people. Damn. They're relentless. Go be of use. So we got the Four of Swords. Somebody's being laid to rest. They've lost. You're recuperating. They have lost. Challenge is the Ace of Wands. You're very passionate. You've got a lot of new opportunities. And they're crushed. Maybe they got crushed by your willpower. By your growth, by your passion for maintaining your life and continuing to live it. These guys, they're afraid here. They're being laid to rest. They've lost. They were crushed about your new beginning, and they're in the Moon card here, so they're having anxiety. Because it's ending. Nine of Swords in the recent past. Insomnia. They can't sleep. When they do sleep, they are having nightmares about many flames. It takes many tries to find the right one. They did this to many flames, and now they're having a nightmare. They could be haunted by all of those flames, those shining ones, those temperance angels that they martyred. They're being haunted right now by those beautiful lights that they martyred for profit. They owe a debt to love. Luring people in with the words, proper words of love and devotion, and then boom, turning around and just effing their world up. We got the Queen of Pentacles. They're in a nightmare. You've got this, you might have a protectress that is kicking their butt. You may have the access to the financials. You may have some security, some kind of security here. Your ancestors are there. Burned. Burned. You've been hurt before. I wasn't talking. I was listening. They were talking about what was that? The Middle Ages? What it means to be psychic in the Middle Ages, back in the 5th century, 5th to 20th century or something like that. It means getting burned. So it seems to me like psychics and stuff in the previous chapters, in the previous cycles, would be identified, and then they would be targeted and then transported into time, into these Middle Ages. They would transport these psychics, and then they would burn them for being witches. Time travelers with these gates and this technology that they had from the earth angels, the trapped earth angels. Some of them are walking portals. Some of them can control time and create timelines and collapse them, and they had access to that because they would get relationship, and then they would dominate the energy and the mind and all of that. So there's many flames here that are giving this person a nightmare. They're in an 8 of Cups, reversed energy. They don't know what to do. They're being faced with a great aggression from those many flames that they martyred in the history. They're dealing with it. They're trying to avoid this aggressive lion here. I've heard the Curator and such talk about this divine feminine as a daughter of the lion. I heard years ago, back when I was still having this party going on inside my head with these nasty jacks and their feminines, I was told by he who speaks with authority, his energy is, he spoke and he said, they will get what they deserve. And when he said that, when his voice rumbled through my temple, into my spirit, my soul, it was the scariest thing ever. I almost wanted to jump out of my body. It was frightening. So they went after the daughter of the lion. And they're in a tower. Tired. They're tired. They're in a tower. They're exhausted. Maybe you're exhausted. They're being released because you're exhausted and you deserve a break. This separation will occur. You've got your boundaries up. You're persistent. You're very resilient. And it's giving them anxiety. You're an earth angel, a temperance angel. You have a life of luxury coming ahead for the fruits of your labor. You did very well in this environment. On behalf of the people, you've discovered who was guilty of stealing from the earth angels, the merchandise from the earth angelics. You discovered who was lying, cheating, and stealing the merchandise of the earth angels. This curator, months ago, he was all mad. He was like, he wanted to claim he wanted to harvest the merchandise out of the earth angels that they had accrued by traveling a very difficult and suffering path. They wanted to come in and they wanted to harvest the reward, the life of luxury, the pentacles that the earth angels have earned from going through all of this terrible stuff. But these guys got copycat swear in the face, and they were going to step right in and try to claim that reward, having given you your challenge and not gone through the challenge. So you're here and you've got this life of luxury, and you are pointing out who's lying, cheating, and stealing here. There's a confrontation. Somebody's going to come clean. You're releasing that baggage there with the Six of Swords, and you're coming into a new career. You've got an abundance, and everything that no longer needs is falling away to make room for that love you deserve. The fact that you're an earth angel and you have a whole big old bag of evidence of what these people were doing with the earth angels merchandise, their life, their energy. Secrets. You found out what the secrets are, the secrets to your struggles. Why aren't the earth angels graduating? Why are they behaving so atrociously? Because no matter how many earth angels you consume, Curator, you will never be an earth angel. It will always be a struggle for you because you're an empty vessel. There's no soul in you. You're a weed seed. You're chaff, man, trying to pretend. There's a long road of hit it and quit it, just another notch in the headboard. There's a long road of all of these one-night stands and sacrifices. And then hardship for the diamond, for the earth angel. And now everything that they did is crumbling because it wasn't their energy. It wasn't the agreement. It wasn't the way that they were supposed to go about it. And they're unable to free themselves from that web. They got to face it. They broke their promises and then stuck them in the dark and siphoned out their wealth. They lied. They went in and had sex with people, claiming to care for them, and then sacrificed them to the freaking dark side, man. Can you imagine these guys having sex with somebody, knowing in their head what they have planned for that person, and thinking about them getting off on it? It's like so freaking exciting to them. You're leaving. You're leaving it behind, and they're reaching out trying to connect with you, but love is avoiding them big time because they made it a hard road and they didn't see this coming. Oh, they're grieving now because now they're drowning. They're going under. They need an exit plan. They're going to receive some neglect here, and their life is going to be in pieces, and they want forgiveness for being tempted by this snake, but it's just too bad. You know, they were using love of people from a distance as an escape. They were piling their crap on people. This childish person was getting contracts in the 5D and then leaving the 3D person alone while they siphoned the wealth and the happiness and all of that, the stability, while they haunted them, stuck them in a crazy drama, didn't take care of any of their needs, playing at love, playing games with the heart of the earth angel, stealing their 9 of Pentacles from them, giving them hardship, thinking they were going to stay stuck there, but you didn't. You came up and out of that. Somebody is a daughter of this lion, and these guys are getting tore up, and that's just the way it is. They tried to exterminate their family. They called them a battery. They treated them like an animal. I mean, if that's not a turn-off, imagining that the person you're being intimate with, who won't commit to you, they just want to have sex with you, do whatever they want to do. Imagine what's going on in their head. They lack commitment. They're rude, mean. That's the sick part about it. That's the sick part about it. These people, these men knew what they were going to do to this earth angel when they were sexing her up. They knew what they were going to do as they were being intimate. So they're being laid to rest. They have lost because you weren't guilty of the things that they were trying to stick on you. You're a pure soul. They're challenged by your growth. They're crushed by this. They're a reflection, a copycat. This is a copycat. Somebody who is wearing your energy. Somebody who is wearing your energy. They're on their way out. They're in fear with the Moon card because this is ending. They don't understand. They lack understanding. They don't see your side of the story. It's all about them. It's never been about you. It's only been about them. You were nothing except something that they could drain of every ounce of life force and just leave you there in the dark. What a shit. Now they're being haunted by the many flames that they screwed over with their little games, calling themselves gods. So superior. They're unworthy. They sabotage themselves. They sabotaged many flames. Queen of Pentacles is here, and we've got burned. She's head of security. She could be, she's burning those who did not appreciate your beauty. Or maybe she's dealing with those who burned her and did not appreciate her beauty. Take it as it resonates. Somebody is trying one more time. They're trying to avoid. They're aimlessly drifting. They're trying to avoid this lion. They could be like hopping around, roaming around, doing their best to hide, to cloak themselves. They've got a fear. They're running. They're in fear. They're in a tower here. They're in a tower here. They're being released. You are emotionally exhausted from dealing with this, and you deserve a break, and you're going to get it. The separation will occur. They will not be obtaining the energy. Divine Mother said to be prepared. They're not going to survive either. So you deserve a break. You got a soul tie here that you're connected to. It could be with this lion. You've got the 9 of Swords. Your boundaries are up. You've got resilient boundaries. And we've got somebody having anxiety. You're getting ready. You got your boundaries up against this person who's got anxiety. There's unfinished business here. Somebody's being all flighty. The Earth Angel is here. Yeah, so Earth Angel is here. They're in their purpose. They're getting a life of luxury, and we've got this prideful, egotistical person has been found guilty, so you're no longer going to have to deal with them. They're frauds, they're fraudulent, they're liars, they're mischief makers, they're copycats, and they like to see people fail. They like to work to destroy people's happiness and successes. So they are guilty of lying, cheating, and stealing, and they're no longer going to be permitted to be in your energy. You're leaving that baggage behind. You've got a new Ace of Pentacles here, a new abundant venture. And the things you no longer need are falling away to make room for the love that you deserve, because you are irreplaceable. The way you love cannot be matched. You're special. And these people treated you like you were a piss pot. They laughed about it. They laughed. They laughed about running away from their responsibilities. They laughed. They thought it was so funny to leave you there by yourself when all you had hoped for was this beautiful union. They were chasing you and they can't get into your space. The chaser doesn't want to chase you anymore. They can't get into your space. They missed their opportunity. They're feeling damages from the pain that they have caused. Broken and shattered, unsatisfied. People are talking about this reunion, and these other ones, they are unworthy of a reunion because their values are all about money. They were lying, cheating, and stealing. They didn't grow. They didn't add value to their soul. They didn't care about their neighbor, their sister, their brother, their mother. They didn't care about anything. They don't know what to do now. Because, you know, they want to mend this connection, but they think that you should worry about how they feel after centuries of torturing people habitually. It's ridiculous that they would even think somehow in their head that they even deserved a conversation with you. You know? I don't like it when they try to push in. It's like, wow, man, you had 22 years and I just don't want to listen to you anymore. "22 years and cycle after cycle after cycle prior to that, just like many of you. You've been going through this for a long time. So they're being laid to rest, and because they have lost. They have lost because you weren't guilty of what they said you were guilty of. They were driving your life. You weren't controlling anybody. You're not guilty of what they said you did. They were driving you. They were using their technology, their forbidden magic, to drive soap operas of living, so like literal soap operas on the television through the mind, and they would drive it in there like you were one of the characters that just couldn't hold yourself together or whatever, and they would drive people into misery. It was a soap opera, a program, and the higher courts apparently told these ones that they sabotaged themselves when they tried to program everybody for failure, and then they drove them into it hard. And you know, alcohol is legal, but alcohol is cool. So when your senses go away, then the spirits come in. And if you drink every day or every other day, then it's not you living your life. You are wide open and you're living a soap opera, and you have no control over your life. None. Especially if you drink a lot, because you're opening up all the gates in your temple and you're just allowing people to come in. And you think it's fun, but it's not you having the fun. So we've got the Ace of Wands here. You've got new growth, new opportunities, and these people are crushed. They're just a reflection of you, and they're being disconnected. They're being disconnected from your passion, from your energy. They're in fear here because it's ending and they don't understand. They thought for sure they had this, I mean, it's been going on for centuries. They thought for sure that Look, they're not able to preserve themselves. They don't understand how to take care of themselves. They've been siphoning off of you for so long, they didn't add any skills to their tool basket. They didn't learn how to take care of themselves. They were just prancing around like they had their shit together while you suffered, while they siphoned, and now they're in fear because they didn't learn anything. Now they got to go walk the walk that they forced you to walk, this really evil, seriously terrible, traumatizing walk that they figured was impossible, because they thought that they would have you stuck there loop after loop after loop, suffering and rewarding, you know, cast it out and reel in the fish, cast it out and reel in the fish, you know, when it came time to harvest. And that's what they were doing. They did not learn how to preserve themselves because they were feeding on your rewards. And they have many flames that they were doing that to, not just you, but many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 11 flames on that card. They sabotaged 11 flames. And now they can't sleep. They're being haunted. Shine. They sabotaged people who shine. Earth angels. Queen of Pentacles here. She could be dealing with the people who burned you, who did not appreciate you, offering security from those types of people. Yeah. We've got as is in the reverse. They did not appreciate you. They didn't want to accept you as you are. They tried to change you. They wanted to flip you. They wanted you to obey their command. They wanted you to do the foul, nasty things that they were doing, and you just refused. They could not flip you. They would not accept you as you are. They did not appreciate you for the beauty you offered. They burned you. I literally think that there's technology, and that they would take the psychics and the prophets and the prophetesses, the telepaths, and they would transport them back into the Middle Ages and then burn them. I think God is pissed. This is a protectress. This could be the mother right there. The warrior mother. We've got somebody's trying to avoid this aggressive lion. Somebody, yeah, they were horse playing around, and somebody's being real fierce with them because they're just a jerk. They're having a tower. You deserve a break from this now. You got a new soul tie. They're in a tower because you have a new soul tie. They won't let go. The separation has to occur, but this curator still has a bunch of soulless, vampiric, misogynistic, narcissistic, RAPist, you know, red rummers. You know, they like the fine wine, you know, that comes from your body. Murder. So they're in a tower. They're going through a tower. You deserve a break from this soul tie. Whoever this is, it's like they're going to be martyred. They won't let you go. They won't back off. The connection is gone. There's no marriage. There's no contract. This person has been emancipated from this connection, freed. There is a rainbow covenant and a dignitary position, perhaps a magistrate permission and dominion here. And this curator does not, they martyr people. And they might be martyred because they refuse to back off, to let it go. They have no rights. But this curator thinks because there's medicine being used, that gives him the right. that means disqualification. But God doesn't see it that way. And this curator doesn't care what God says. They won't stop. They're addicted to your energy, Earth Angel. They're addicted to the wealth that comes with you, because without you, they're nothing. They're just a regular overgrown child, horse playing around, you know, getting praised for being something that they're not. Your boundaries are up. Somebody's having anxiety. They don't know what you're going to do. There's unfinished business here and things to resolve. We've got hospitality. Congratulations. Temperance angel, you're getting your reward, your life of luxury. And those who are guilty of lying and cheating, those prideful people, they're getting flipped. They're getting flipped into the south node where they belong because of this competition. There's not going to be any prideful, egotistical competition anymore. They're guilty of this, and it's stupid. It's like, just go away, man. Go get a job. Just go get a job. Learn something besides effing people over, man. There's no, look. They were competing with wholesome earth angels. See, they call it competition, but you're not competing. You just are who you are. You are who you are. There's no competition. Why would you compete with anybody to be who you are when you already are? What this is a couple of guys and their gal friend. They want to come in with each other and then with all of their other friends, and they want to start kicking you around. And they call it competition, but it's outright brutality. It's outright premeditated red rum and an attempt to steal everything that you have earned through your very own suffering that they caused. And it's ridiculous that they thought they were going to come in and take your reward when they didn't do a damn thing except be vicious, underhanded, sleazy, and cruel. Irresponsible. You're releasing that baggage. You got the Six of Swords here. You got the Ace of Pentacles, and you're moving on. Everything that you don't need is falling away to make room for the love that you deserve, because you are irreplaceable. The way that you love cannot be matched. You're this beautiful, wholesome being, and you're this temperance angel. The heaven is in you, and you've got these nasty jacks, man. What the heck? And they're gals or whatever they are. Teacher. You're the teacher. So you were here, you were supposed to be here in purpose and guide people, but they didn't like your perspective of reality. So they decided to martyr you, take all of your stuff, take your position, and then lead the youth and everybody that was supposed to be guided correctly down a path of incoherence. They drove them into south node, into lust mode, into fight or flight survival mode. They didn't lift anybody. They just decided to go around and bang hockey sticks and F over people, getting them pregnant and then laughing while they struggled. And that was their own freaking child. And I can't believe it, that they would actually be upset about this. You're being remembered. You are being remembered. There's a memory here. We got an explorer. There could be some exploration. Remember, maybe you are remembering who this explorer is, this time traveler. You did not take any shortcuts. You did not sell your soul. You didn't make any agreements. You didn't choose to be less than you are. You suffered and you grew through the suffering, and you expanded and you became exactly what is necessary to fill this seat here. You're getting the pathway. This is your pathway. And you got folks out there who wanted to be whatever they wanted to be. They didn't want to accept the, what do they call that? Absolution. They didn't want the mother to be in control of absolution. She was supposed to lead them into repentance, some form of absolution, some kind of leading them back to God. You know, pull them back up out of that nastiness and then lead them back in onto the righteous path. And they didn't like her view of her perception of reality. They decided that being a whore was perfectly fine. That, you know, RAPing people and selling women and children and all of that was perfectly legal. Oh, we're going to do it. They just shut down all the bridges, and they wound up appearing as you. They decided to dress up in your energy and to appear as you. But this is your seed. There's a change here. Attention has been brought to what this witch has been doing. They've been pretending to be a creator. They've been pretending to have creativity, but they've been going into the mental body of wholesome earth angelics, and then they've been siphoning their thoughts, their downloads, and then pretending that those downloads were theirs, while these were put in narcissistic families and then squashed, treated like a black sheep, given a whole bunch of nastiness from this family that didn't really even belong to their soul group. You might be getting a visitation from love that might be invisible. Or maybe those who were spying, these personalities who were visiting your house, visiting the house of love as invisible, like astral projecting and all of that, like they're going into the grave. It's like, you know, when somebody breaks into your house, just because they're invisible doesn't mean that it's not a house break-in. And an RAP, when they forcefully take the womb energy, I mean, I've had it forcefully taken, but before that, there was the dream lover thing until I caught on to it and I started commanding that energy there, you know, so that they couldn't catch me at a vulnerable place. But still, it's like, yeah, you kept your house clean through this conflict and through not being able to settle down because these important people kept taking your stuff. But now you've got forgiveness. You're seen as faithful because these people were puppeting you, driving you with this driver, with this software, with these soap operas. They were messing with the transmitter receiver of the Most High God. You're a divine being, an earth angelic. You're here to receive the messages of the divine and then actualize it into this space. As above, so below is the way it was supposed to be. But these guys come from a place below here, and so they wanted it as above, so below, right? They were trying to bring all that up to make it as below. So there's the same concept. It's just different tiers of existence. They're afraid of your sovereignty. They're afraid of your purpose because you are a magistrate. You're a justice. They came after a soprano, a high-ranking justice with the spirits and caused them a lot of drama. And they gathered all of this information, all of this first-hand, irrefutable testimony as to what had been occurring here. This magistrate, this wholesome earth angel, fell to tell was the message. They took a head dive straight in and they said, okay, let's go find out what's happening. And they did. They did. It was prophesied. It was prophesied. It's the same story over and over, but I mean, I'm using the same cards. One of my adversaries were complaining that I use the same cards. I'm getting the same stories, and I don't know if they're thinking about using the same cards, seeing if they can come up with the same stories. I don't know. I know they're pulling cards on people. I know that because I heard the Curator trying to read cards. So you're laying this to rest, or you are recuperating. They lost. They have lost you. They've lost access to your energy. They've lost access to your services and your finances and your everything, because you're not guilty. They were driving you. I think they were trying to set you up to be seen as though you were driving people, but you weren't. You're not guilty of driving anybody. You didn't play with anybody's mind. You weren't out there messing with anybody's life. Narcissist. You weren't guilty. You were being driven by a narcissist. They were trying to destroy you. They wanted you in South Node. They wanted you stuck in a hellhole forever. This narcissist did their best to stomp you, to grind you into the freaking Mother Earth soil that you would never, ever, ever rise up and be seen. Oh, what a jerk. He said, oh, you love the Mother Earth so much. Here, let me grind your face into it. That's what this narcissist did. Dime a dozen, he called you. So he's concerned, he's upset, he's challenged by your new beginning, by your opportunity. It's your life. You were the one who lived it. You were the one who overcame the challenges. You were the one who graduated top of your class. You were the one who has beat Guinness World Records of these narcissistic woman haters. These martyrers, these who sacrifice earth angels in order to appear as though they're alive. You know, they don't have any light in them. They did that to many flames, many shining ones. They're getting disconnected. They're getting disconnected from any light that they have in them. They're going to lose. This reflection is crushed. They're getting disconnected. They're getting disconnected from your light. So we've got caution. They're being disconnected. They need to use caution. This is their challenge. They need to use caution. God don't care. So they're afraid, they're in fear, they're having anxiety because this is ending. They can no longer punish you, innocent person, and take everything good from you. They don't understand how to take care of themselves. They absolutely have no idea how to manage themselves. They've been out here insisting that everybody in the world change to meet their idea of what the living should be, should look like, should dress like, should act like, should speak like. They've created categories for people when that's not how it works. They don't have any understanding of how to preserve themselves, of how to take care of themselves. Give it time. Everything in divine timing. Let it flow. Maybe they don't understand how you self-preserved, but it's in the reverse. They don't know how to preserve themselves. They don't know. So they're given time. To me, this is a sentence. This is a prison sentence. They're in a Nine of Swords energy. They're in a nightmare. There's many flames here, many shining flames that they sabotaged for gain. And they wound up sabotaging themselves because now they owe us such a big debt to these ones. I think it might be that they are the new fodder for these shining ones. Like they owe life essence, life force. They owe energy. They owe everything to these ones. Could be an air sign. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Yeah, they got a prison sentence. We've got Queen of Pentacles here. Head of security. She's dealing with those who have burned, or she is burning those who did not appreciate you. They did not accept you as you were. She's letting them go because of the way they were horseplaying around with you. You're the daughter of a lion. Commitment. They did not accept you as you were. They did not accept you in this commitment. They martyred you, and they stole your, and then they copycatted and replaced you with somebody who probably had plastic surgery so they could look like you. And they chose a few little of your personality characteristics, and then they decided to perfect them. But in the shadows, they were cursing you and siphoning you and dressing up as you, and then going out and having orgies and laying that stuff on you, trying to frame you of being a prostitute and a terrorist. She's committed. Things are getting very, very serious. They are trying to avoid this. Somebody's trying to avoid this fierce, aggressive lion. They were playing around. They were playing around. Oh, and they are, oh, we got spy in the reverse. They're not able to watch you anymore. They can't see you. Those who were playing with you, they can no longer spy on you. There is a change. They're afraid of it. They're in a tower. They're being released because you deserve a break. You're tired. They martyred this soul tie. Or they're going to get martyred. They won't let go. It's like there's still some kind of a soul tie, even though the contract is over. It's lineage, it's kin. So there is a soul tie of sorts. But this person is supposed to let go. The contract is over. There's no contract. There's no marriage. There's no friendship. There's no partnership. There's no nothing. No connection whatsoever. You don't even know who this person is. But they've been wearing your energy and then pretending to be the gifted one, right? So whatever this soul tie is, they've been trying to drain you. They've been trying to use your essence in your soul tie to the source to get themselves up. They wanted to use you as a ladder to get to this place. And they wanted to use your energy to elevate themselves. He told a younger masculine who asked him, why do you keep going after her? He said, because we can become just like her. If they consume her, if they eat her flesh, if they drink her blood, if they download her memories, they can be just like her. But no, you can't. All you can do is be an actor because you can't produce the energy. All you can do is siphon it. And she's tired. And this soul tie is going to be martyred. There will be a martyring. You martyred the soul tie. And it will be martyred. It's going to be ended. The transition will occur. The separation will happen, Curator. You don't own jack. And we're out of patience. It's going to happen real soon. So the boundaries are up. We've got somebody's having anxiety because there's unfinished business here. And we've got hospitality, and no, they're not receiving any more of your hospitality. You're not giving them any money. You're not giving them a house. You're not making sure they have underwear or socks. You don't care if they eat. You don't care if they have heat. You just don't care. And I think that's a mindset that God put in you, if you have it, if this read is for you, because you were too forgiving. You kept pouring into them, pouring into them, pouring into them. And at this shift, it appears to me that God is saying, no more. You're not pouring into them anymore. You will never give it back to them. You're going to keep this energy for yourself, and you're getting a new family, is what you're getting. You're an earth angel. You've got the fruits of your labor are arriving. You've got a 9 of Pentacles. And those who were guilty, these prideful, egotistical, guilty people who were competing for your life, for what you are in this world, their pride is hurt. You are a wholesome person, and you're not going to be dealing with those people anymore. They've been found guilty of messing with you, and it wasn't a competition. A wholesome pregnancy. So you're a wholesome person. There's a pregnancy. You're expecting something. You will be. You know, even if you're of an elder age, it's like for a number of years now, I've been getting the internal knowing that there will be a reversal of age. So even if you didn't get that opportunity this cycle and many previous cycles, it looks like if you're a wholesome person, an earth angel, you're going to get this opportunity. There's going to be some reverse aging, some healing, and you're going to get the opportunity to be a mother or a father. And you've learned so much about what not to do. You're leaving all that baggage behind. You've got a new venture here, and everything you no longer need is falling away to make room for the love that you deserve, because you're irreplaceable. The way you love can never be matched. It could be that you're the teacher, that you're the one that was here to teach them about love. And love starts in here. If you can't have a healthy respect or a love for yourself, then there's no way you'll be able to ever offer it to anybody else. And this was the mother that was supposed to be guiding people back onto the path. But these masculines took it over in their competitive way of being. They're fighting and, this masculine, they didn't want to go be gentle and freaking compassionate. They just wanted to beat the hell out of whatever didn't want to do what they told them to do, and then just deal with it because we're men, right? Well, I don't know. They couldn't teach anybody about love. The only thing they could teach was about, filthy, unregulated sex. So we got open your heart. You're teaching people how to open their heart. The way you love can never be matched. You are the teacher to show people how to open their heart, how to be vulnerable with themselves, how to rest and accept themselves in their vulnerability, how to be compassionate with themselves so that they would know how to be compassionate with somebody else. It's important. But you got this gold digger stalking a fire sign, or they are a fire sign, trying to manifest off of your energy, and they're having challenges. So that's what this is. You've got this gold digger out there who's trying to manifest off of your energy. You're the teacher. And this schmuck's been out there masquerading as though they have anything of value in that suit they're running around in. So yeah, they're having challenges manifesting off of your energy. They're moving. You are changing cycles, and we're changing cycles. Everybody's being shifted. There is a separation occurring, and everybody's going to be relocated to their frequency match, their family. And this little person here who refuses to let go will be martyred. God has no patience. We got patience in the freaking, he has no patience. Whoever it is that's trying to drain you of your energy is going to be martyred. They're a liar. Their confession was a lie. Their love spells are backfiring. People can see the love spells are backfiring, man. And people are waking up. Their frequency is higher, and the sorcery is weaker, and it's just not working out for this narcissist. He's trying to drive the minds of the people while projecting the guilt for that onto this wholesome person that is the daughter of a lion. This dude is in freaking trouble. I don't feel one bit bad for him. Not one bit. It's like the last time they put a knife in me in the astral realm, like they just really punched out a big hole, like in my heart, like I was dead. Big hole. And it's like the last time they did that, you know, it actually like severed empathy that I had for them. It turned to apathy. Like, it's like when they killed that, it's like the only thing that died was my empathy for this scenario. So we've got humor. This narcissist was trying to drive happy people. Maybe people are laughing. Maybe they lost because you chose to focus on the lighter side of life. You weren't guilty of driving anybody. You weren't guilty of driving this narcissist. You weren't guilty of doing what this narcissist told or tried to drive you into. You're happy. You're not this warlike, you know, terrorizer. So you got a new opportunity for growth, a new beginning. Ace of Wands, and they are crushed. This reflection is left in the dark. They're getting disconnected, and they've got to use caution in this mental space. They've got to be very careful over what they say, because the lion is here and he's fierce about this adversity that they've been bringing to his daughter. Oh, you guys are so stupid. Why would you do that? These people, a lot of them claim to be religious, but they didn't think the lion was going to show up and I don't know, get upset over what they were doing to the daughter. They never considered that. They're in fear now because it's ending, and they don't understand how to survive. They don't understand how to take care of themselves. They've been given time. They've got a sentence here. Everything in divine timing. Whether it takes 5 years, 22 years, 8 lifetimes, 1,000 years, however many years that is. Divine timing. Yeah, because you got to find the truth. See, everybody needed to be tested, and that was one of the first things. I was still suffering quite a bit, and he said everybody needed to be tested. And I was kind of upset, you know, because I was still suffering quite a bit, you know, and I tried to understand. I can see, you know, it's just terrible that I guess it takes a long time to get detailed, irrefutable evidence, that shows a consistent pattern and obvious choice of character, you know. So somebody's in a nightmare over these many flames. It's like, and they know what this says in the Bible too, that the dead shall rise. So it's like all of these earth angels that they sacrificed into those darker realms, to me, I'm guessing that those many flames that they sabotaged and put into this dark side, that they are going to shine again. They're being resurrected. And I think that's what this is, a resurrection and a led back into an ascension by the Most High. These guys are freaking out. They did not think God was going to show up and do that. Trust. You trust your inner voice. You trust your inner voice. For me, he said, Patience, patience, patience. And he said, breathe into it. And you got all these ones out here trying to give exact directive, right, over your life. But he who speaks with authority wants you to be who you are. He wants you to be in your purpose according to your divine connection. And you got a whole bunch of jackos out here interfering in that. Messing up your song, taking your song, changing your song. Saying, there, that's better, sing that. And it's like, but that's not what God gave me. God gave me this funky song. I got a funky song. They did not accept you as you were in this commitment. This relationship that was meant to serve the higher good for everyone, they did not accept you as you are. They did a twist. They flipped you and then copycatted you. They didn't want you. They didn't appreciate you. They may have even burned you as being a prophetess or a prophet, as psychic. They may have transported you back in time and actually burned you. You were here to teach people how to open their hearts, and this jackass flipped you, copycatted you, sent you back in time and burned you. And then whined about people, you know, attacking him. Love. So somebody is avoiding the aggressiveness of this lying. They were horse playing around with you. They're no longer able to spy on you. They were playing around. They didn't do their research about love. They didn't realize that you were the teacher and they were playing with the wrong one. They did not realize that they could not extract love out of you, that you are love. And when people ask you, what is love? Love is just you. It doesn't come with a description. It just is. They didn't do their damn research. They decided to play around, not even realizing that you are committed to seeing the good in all things, even the nasty, vicious stuff that they were putting on you. Why? Because you were forced to go deeper into yourself and discover those little hidden pockets where love was hiding. These pockets that they couldn't find. They didn't know anything about them because they don't know anything about love. They don't know anything about being love. They're in a tower because you deserve a break from this right now. And this soul tie is being martyred. It is being let go. It is over. And there's no patience here. This lion is fierce. He's pissed. Adversity. There's no more patience with this adversity. There's no more patience with these jackasses who get soul ties and then martyr their wives or their husband. There's no more patience with it. We're getting you a tower because we're tired. Don't ask anybody to feel sorry for you. You just accept it, man. It is what it is. You know it is. You can't claim that you don't know what you were doing. We've got 9 of Wands. And they don't know what you're going to do next, but there's unfinished business here, and there is hospitality, and no, they are not receiving any more of your hospitality. They were not grateful or thankful for your presence. You're an earth angel. You are the source of this life of luxury. And these ones were guilty. These prideful, egotistical, these third-party enemies are guilty of competing with a wholesome person who was meant to be here birthing a family. Now, many of you, I didn't have the opportunity to have a child or a husband, that wanted to be a husband. So they stripped people of their opportunity to be a mother, to birth anything into this realm. They wrapped the crowns, disconnected them from their source messaging, took those messaging for themselves, and then effed it up. Went out and became a whore and tried to frame you as being that. I guess somebody's copycat actually had a kid while they were pretending to be you. And then they were an alcoholic and they were a lousy ass mother and everybody said it was you. So many lies. You're leaving that baggage behind. With the Six of Swords here, you've got your Ace of Pentacles, abundance, a new job. Everything's falling away to make room for the love that you deserve. The way you love is irreplaceable. You are the teacher, the one that will teach people how to open their heart. There's a change here. You're making a change. There will be a change. You're teaching people how to open their heart, to be courageous, to go after your dreams, to become the limitless, abundant person that you're meant to be. It starts with loving yourself, seeing the value in yourself. People are worried about your the gifts of the soul that benefit yourself and others. They did not want you going within and discovering what that was. They knew what it was. They wanted to draw off of it. They didn't want you finding out what was in there. They're worried about it. They're in grief. They don't know what the heck to do. They're in doubt because you've been accepted. You've been accepted as somebody in service. You're a teacher. You feel good when you can help others. You're being accepted into the fold of a new family, of a new dimensional shift. You have graduated top of your class. You're 100%. You have passed every challenge, every test. You have aced every lesson. You've graduated at the top of your class, and you have surpassed at least 2 of these gold diggers Guinness Book of World Records. They're envious of you. But everything happens in divine orders. You know what friends are for. They're here and they are successfully gaining your freedom and their freedom. So this family of yours, this new family of yours, are going to successfully gain your freedom. This separation will happen. This soul tie of this curator who insists that he owns you is going to be martyred for the adversity that he continuously brings to you. This lion is out of patience. This guy is going down. He is going to be receiving some serious discipline, and he's in fear. He's afraid of it because this is the end of his health. There's death to the temple that houses his soul right here. This health, I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. We've got death. It's going away. They need to surrender. They need to control you. They have failed here. The negative energy must be released in order to restore peace. We can't have this bickering, gold digging, backbiting, intentional contract heisting, and then, crushing your intimate partner that you knew you were going to backstab, hurt, and destroy and put into the dark side. And every time you had an intimate encounter and was telling them how much you loved them, what you meant in your head was what you loved. What you loved was the reward you were going to get when you finally had the opportunity to put them in the dark, gold digger. That's so sick. They want forgiveness. They're under judgment because you persevered, and they are receiving a denial. No forgiveness because they're happiness haters. You are happiness. And you also bring a sense of perfect harmony into yourself, into your environment and into your community. And these people are prideful, but they don't even know how to take care of themselves. What do they have to be proud of except for brutality? They don't even know how to take care of themselves. So you gave it time, and the truth came out. You were patient. You waited for the divine to align, and it did. And we are at 1 hour and 15 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this one here. I hope that it brings clarity to something that you already intuitively knew. And I will see you on the next one, everybody. Bye.